Lesson 6. Mastering quotations in news writing, types and techniques. Objectives. Understand the importance of using quotations to add credibility and authenticity to news stories. Differentiate between partial, full, direct and indirect quotations. Learn techniques for writing accurate and impactful quotations across platforms. Identify challenges in quotation writing and strategies to overcome them. Quotations are an essential tool in news writing, used to convey authenticity, enhance credibility, and add a human element to a story. They are the exact words spoken or written by someone included in a news piece to provide evidence, support, claim, or illustrate diverse viewpoint. This comprehensive guide dwells into the importance, writing techniques, types, challenges, and platform specific styles of quotation, as well as the differences between direct, indirect, partial, and full quotation. A quotation is a reproduction of someone's exact words or paraphrased thought included in a news report. It can be spoken or written and is used to support the story's fact and narratives. Quotations lend credibility and provide first-hand insight, making the story more engaging and relatable. For instance, take direct and indirect quotes. Suppose direct quote captures the speaker's exact words enclosed in quotation marks, adding authenticity and a personal touch. For example, India's growth lies in the hands of its young entrepreneurs, said Prime Minister Narendra Modi during a startup event. This style is impactful. When the speaker's words are powerful, unique, or carry significant weight, as it allows the audience to hear the voice directly. On the other hand, indirect quote convey the same idea but in the written words without quotation marks. This is useful for summarizing or paraphrasing lengthy or less precise statements. For example, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted that India's youth are the key drivers of the country's economic growth. Let's see key differences. Direct quotes provide the original voice, making them more engaging, whereas indirect quotes offer flexibility to summarize or clarify complex statements while retaining the meaning. In practice, blending both types ensures clarity and balance. For instance, when covering a speech by the Telangana Chief Minister, use a direct quote for a memorable statement and an indirect quote to summarize other points. Quotations have several critical functions in news writing. First of it is authenticity and credibility. Quoting a source directly reassures the audience of the story's legitimacy and builds trust. Direct quotes serve as a evidence that the information presented is accurate and reliable. For instance, quoting the finance minister about a new tax policy lends credibility to an economic report. Additionally, it prevents accusations of misrepresentation, especially when dealing with sensitive topics like political statements or public safety announcements. This is particularly crucial in investigative journalism, where the audience seek verification from trustworthy sources. Now let's see one more area, adding human perspective. Quotations provide emotional depth by including personal experiences, reactions, or feelings, which make the story more relatable to the readers. For instance, including a flood victim's direct quote like "We lost everything, but the community's support gives us hope," brings a human element to the disaster report. This approach helps bridge the gap between factual reporting and emotional connections, making the audience feel more invested in the story. Third way is supporting facts. A well-placed quote can validate a journalist's claims, acting as a source of confirmation for the facts presented. For example, quoting an environmental scientist who says rising temperatures are directly linked to the industrial emissions strengthens a climate change report. Such quotes determine through research and provide the audience with confidence in the information's authenticity. Journalists should always ensure the quoted sources is credible and relevant to the subject matter of the maximum impact. Then comes enhancing engagement. Quotations break up monotonous narratives and introduce varied voices, making the content dynamic and engaging. For instance, in a report on startup culture in India, quotes from entrepreneurs like failing fast taught me resilience, add freshness and variety. They keep the audience intrigued and prevent the story from beginning overlaying analytical or dry. Moreover, using conversational quotes in human interest stories can make the content even more engaging, appealing to a broader audiences. Then comes providing diverse viewpoint. Quotes enable journalists to present a balanced narrative by showing multiple perspectives. For example, in a report about a continuous development project, include quotes from local residents, environmental activists, and governmental officials provides a holistic view. This not only enriches the story but also upholds the principles of the fairness and impartiality. Diverse viewpoints empower the audience to form their own opinions, which is a hallmark of responsible journalism. In today's polarized media environment, this practice is essential for maintaining credibility. Quotations are an essential element of news writing, providing a direct voice to the people involved in the story. Whether it is a government official, witness, an expert, using quotation allows journalists to present information more authentically and add credibility to their reporting. Quotations offer readers a sense of immediacy as they hear directly from the source, which makes the story feel more personal and relatable. In news writing, it's crucial to maintain the integrity of the quote by ensuring accuracy and clarity. The quote must reflect exactly what was said without distortion or misinterpretation. Proper attribution is always key as it is only credit the speakers but also helps the readers evaluate the reliability of the sources. Depending on the nature of the story, journalists may choose between direct quote, indirect quote, or partial quote to convey the most relevant information. Let's see how to choose the right quote. Use quotes that are insightful, impactful, or uniquely worded. Avoid cliches or redundant statements unless they add context. Now, attributions. Always credit the sources. For example, the project will transform the region, said the minister. This is the correct style of writing, whereas the project will transform the region and don't mention who said this is incorrect style. Include the speaker's title or relevance when first introducing them. And also editing for clarity. Minor adjustments for grammar or brevity are acceptable, but altering meaning is unethical. Use punctuating quotations. Direct quotes are enclosed in quotation marks as shown on the screen. Indirect quotes do not require quotation marks. Remember this. The first one is direct quotes. These are the exact words spoken or written by the sources placed within the quotation marks. Example, quotations, we will prioritize healthcare reforms, said the mayor. Now coming to the indirect quote means these restate what a source has said, often for brevity or clarity. Example, mayor stated that healthcare reforms would be a top priority. Now third is partial quotes. Partial quotes combine the advantages of direct and indirect quotes by focusing on the most impactful phrases while paraphrasing the rest of the statement. This approach helps maintain consensus and clarity without losing the essence of the speaker's message. For instance, when a speech included lengthy or repetitive statements, using a partial quote ensures that the key point is emphasized without overwhelming the reader or viewer with excessive details. An example for this, a mayor describes the new reforms as a turning point for the city, while outlining the plans to boost the infrastructure and public welfare. Here is the phrase. A turning point captures the essence of the speaker's statement, while the paraphrased portion provides necessary context. Partial quotes are particularly effective in news writing for balancing precision and brevity, ensuring the audience focuses on the most critical aspects of the story. The fourth type is full quotes. Full quotes present the speaker's exact words in their totality, offering authenticity and impact. These are often used when the statement is significant, emotional, or authoritative. Full quotes are essential in situations where paraphrasing might dilute the meaning of intent of the regional language. Example, I want to assure the public that every step will be taken to ensure their safety during this crisis, said the governor. Using the full quote in this instance conveys a sense of urgency and responsibility, directly reflecting the speaker's tone and emphasis. Full quotes are commonly employed in speeches, press conferences, or official statements, ensuring accuracy and avoiding misinterpretations. First challenge is misrepresentation. Misrepresentation occurs when quotes are misused, taken out of context, or inaccurately attributed. This can distort the speaker's original intent, leading to ethical and legal consequences. For instance, editing a political leader's statement to omit critical details may alter the meaning and mislead the audience. Misrepresentation not only damages the journalist's credibility but also affects the trustworthiness of the media organization. Careful fact checking and cross referencing are essential to avoid this issue. Second point is credibility of the sources. Quoting unreliable or biased sources can undermine the integrity of the story. If a journalist used a statement from an unverified social media post or a controversial figure without verification, the audience may question the story's validity. It is crucial to ensure that the source is trustworthy and has the authority to speak on the subject. This is particularly important in sensitive topics like health, politics, legal matters, where misinformation can have severe consequences. Then comes length and relevance. Overly long quotes can disengage readers and dilute the impact of the story. For example, include an entire speech when only one sentence is pertinent may confuse the audience and reduce clarity. Similarly, relevant quotes can distract from the story's primary focus. Journalists should select concise, impactful portions of a quote that enhance the narrative and provide value to the reader. Then comes accuracy. Quotes must be reproduced verbatim unless paraphrasing for clarity. Altering the speaker's words or tone, even unintentionally, can lead to claims of bias or misreporting. To ensure accuracy, journalists should rely on recording interviews or writing transcripts, avoiding reliance solely on memory. By addressing these challenges, journalists can use quotations effectively to enhance their stories while maintaining ethical and professional standards. In print media, the use of quotations play a crucial role in adding credibility, context, and clarity to the story. Given the space and format available in the print newspapers, magazines, and journals, detailed attributions are commonly included. This ensures that the sources of information is clear to the reader, allowing them to gauge the reliability of the statement. Accurate attribution is vital in print journalism as it maintains the integrity of the story and protects the publication from legal and ethical challenges. Journalists carefully note the title, position, or credentials of the person being quoted, offering transparency and establishing the context of their authority on the subject matters. Full quotes are often utilized in feature stories or in depth analysis, where the objective is to provide the audiences with comprehensive understanding of the subject. These quotes are presented in their entirety to capture the speaker's tone, intent, and emotion, offering the readers a more authentic insight into the topic being discussed. In depth stories allow for a more detailed exploration of ideas, and full quotes are crucial in conveying the nuances of the speaker's message. For example, the new law will revolutionize education, said Sahara Doe, an education policy analyst. This example demonstrates how full quotes are often used to convey significant statements that require the reader to fully grasp the speaker's position. The quote also includes a detailed attribution naming the Sahara Doe and identifying her as an education policy analyst. This provides the reader with the necessary context to understand her authority on the matter, reinforcing the credibility of the statement. In electronic media, including television and radio, the use of the quotes differs significantly from print due to time constraint and the nature of the medium. Television and radio programs prioritize brevity and immediate impact, which means quotes are often condensed to fit the time available for the broadcast. This is especially true in fast-paced news environment where every second counts. For instance, instead of quoting an entire sentence or a lengthy statement, journalists might use shortened versions of the or partial quotes that convey the core message without going into the extensive details. Condensing quotes in this manner ensures the information is delivered quickly and maintains the flow of the broadcast. For example, if a government official makes a lengthy statement on new policies, a television or radio reporter might condense it into a direct, impactful quote like, "The new policy will create thousands of jobs," rather than repeating the entire original statement. This helps keep the segments concise and prevents it from dragging on unnecessarily. This practice ensures the audiences receive important information while maintaining engagement. In addition to brevity, attributions in electronic media is typically vibrant. Instead of writing out the name and title of the person being quoted as in print media and journalistic often introduce the sources in a more conversational tone. For example, Dr. John Smith stated that, or according to the president of the company. This approach ensures that the audience know who is speaking and adds a personal touch to the broadcast. It helps in establishing the credibility of the source quickly, especially in fast moving segments where written attribution isn't possible. Moreover, in television, visual aids such as video clips can serve as a powerful substitutes for lengthy verbal quotes. When a speaker is featured in a report, their own words and body language can offer a more direct and emotional connection to the audience. A video clip showing a politician making a statement adds authenticity, emotion, and context to the quotes, reducing the need for multiple lines of verbal quotation. Similarly, a radio program may use sound bites or interview with key features, allowing the words to carry weight without needing extensive quotes. These tools make the message more compelling and help maintain listeners' viewers' interest by adding variety of visual stimulations. On social media, the approach to quote is tailored to the platform's fast-paced, visual-driven, and highly interactive nature. Quotes on social media are typically concise, often reduced to a short, punchy lines or a key takeaway from a longer statement. Social media platforms such as Twitter limit the number of the characters, so brevity is essential. A full, detailed quote might be reduced to a sentence or even phrase, capturing the essence of the speaker's message without the need for lengthy elaborations. For example, a tweet about a new policy could read, "The mayor, healthcare reforms are coming soon." This concise quote directly communicates the key point while maintaining the focus of the immediacy and impact. In addition to brevity, multimedia elements are often used in conjunction with quotes to engage the audience. Social media posts can incorporate images, videos, GIF files, or infographics which serve to enhance the quotes and make it more engaging. For instance, a tweet might include a picture of a mayor giving the speech or a short video clip where the quote is delivered. These visual elements provide context, convey emotions, and capture attentions in a way that text alone cannot. On platforms like Instagram, Facebook, where visual storytelling is crucial, a quote may be accompanied by photos or video highlights that amplify the message, further captivating the audience. Attribution on social media can vary significantly. While traditional media emphasizes clear, formal attribution, social media often adopts a more informal and casual approach. For example, the attribution in the tweet mentioned earlier simply says the mayor without providing a formal title or a position. This informal attribution can work on platforms like Twitter, where the users and their audiences are often familiar with the speaker. However, this lack of formal attribution in many social media quotes raises challenges around credibility and authenticity. In user generated content, for example, quotes are sometimes shared without identifying the source priority, which can lead to the spread of misinformation or the failure to establish the authenticity of the quoted individual. This presents a significant challenge as the audience might not know whether the quote is trustworthy or accurately reflects the speaker's intention. Overall, social media platforms rely heavily on short, punchy quotes that are complemented by the multimedia for engagement and interaction. However, the informality of attribution and the risk of omitting proper context can create issues related to credibility and the reliability of information. Journalists and social media users must be aware of these challenges and maintain the integrity of the quotes and trustworthiness of the information shared across these platforms. Let's see the difference between direct versus indirect quote. How can we define direct and indirect quotes? Direct quote means exact words spoken by the sources, whereas indirect quote means paraphrased or summarized version of the source's words. Coming to the quotation, quotations are required in direct quotes but not required in indirect quotes. Examples: "The economy is improving," said the minister, is an example for direct quote. "The minister said the economy is improving," is an example for indirect quotes. How is the usage of direct and indirect quote? Adds authenticity and emotional depth. Indirect quotes, used for clarity, brevity, or when the exact word is less important. Let's see the differences between partial quotes versus full quotes. Partial quotes definition. It includes part of the speaker's exact words. Full quotes includes the speaker's entire statements. Partial quotes examples. The minister describes the reforms as groundbreaking. Full quote example. These reforms will be groundbreaking, said the minister. Usage of partial quote highlights key phrases, whereas full quotes used when the full statement adds significant value. When it comes to incorporating quotes in various types of media, it is crucial to adopt the writing style to suit the platform to its audience. Here are some key aspects of how to approach quotes across different media platforms, starting with the clarity. No matter the platform, quotes should always be clear and relevant to the story. The goal is to ensure that the audience can easily understand the point being conveyed. Whether in print, broadcast, or social media, the quote should never confuse or distract from the main message. In print media, where more space is available, longer, more detailed quotes can be used, but they must still be straightforward and easy to comprehend. On social media, where the audience expect quick, digestible content, quotes should be short and to the point. In both cases, clarity is essential for maintaining the integrity of the message and the credibility of the source. Then comes brevity. Brevity is an important consideration when writing for different platforms, as each platform has a variety of constraints. For example, in print media, especially in feature articles, there is typically more room to include longer quotations, allowing for deeper insights and more nuanced presentation of the speaker's words. However, the broadcast media, where time is limited and quotes needed to be considered and impactful, often lasting only a few seconds. Similarly, social media thrives on brevity, with platforms like Twitter restricting the number of characters. Here, the focus is on sharp, attention grabbing quotes that can fit within the constraints of the platform. Journalists need to adopt by trimming down quotes without sacrificing their meaning or emotional impact. Now, coming to the tone. The tone of the quotes used in story should always align with the audience's expectations and the nature of the platform also. In traditional media, such as print or broadcast, quotes often maintain a more formal, serious tone, especially when covering important news events or political issues. A quote like, "We will do everything to ensure public safety during this crisis," maintains a formal, authoritative tone, appropriate for those outlets. On the other hand, social media platforms tend to foster a more conversational and informal style. Quotes on social media often reflect the casual, personal nature of these platforms. For instance, a quote like, "We aren't in this together and we will get through it," might resonate better with a younger audience on a platform like Instagram or Twitter. The tone must match with the platform expectation to maximize audience engagement. Quotations are indispensable in news writing, serving as tools for authenticity, engagement, and credibility. Mastering the use of direct, indirect, partial, full quotations across platforms is essential for effective storytelling. Each platform, whether it's print, electronic, social media, offers unique challenges and opportunities in integrating quotations. By adhering to the ethical standards, choosing impactful quotes, and tailoring them to the platform's demands, journalists can enhance their storytelling and maintain trust with their audiences. That's all for this class. We'll see you in the next class.